new branch, we would repeat, because it was a different geographic area, of course, for each time that they'd open a new branch. So we just kind of repeated this kit time after time after time, and it was really a neat piece.
That's awesome. That's another great one. Again, it's, getting someone's attention and doing something like that is amazing. So could you actually take the ring out and put it on too?
Yeah, you could.
Wow.
Yeah, and what's fun for me about these projects, fun and sometimes frustrating too, is, all right, how do I find these little rings that look authentic but don't cost a fortune? So, if someone's got a few dollars to spend, I want them spending their money on the packaging, not the gimmick or the goodie sometimes it goes inside. But I think I went to some souvenir company that, provides gift shops with their trinkets and trash, and the rings wound up looking really cute and attractive, but they were not a lot of money. But those are the kinds of parts of these projects sometimes that make my days interesting.
Some guy tried to give that to a girl.
Yeah, you aren't kidding, man.
Some guy's like, I got you a ring, baby. I love you.
Yeah, and the relationship right there.
Well, and they put $5 in the bank account for you.
Yeah, really. Oh my gosh, that's great.
That's cool. I truly love the creativity of what you do with your packaging, and like those kits are just so neat, and it's stuff that grabs people's attention, and like you said, it lives forever. It lives forever, and people keep that around because it's like, it's not something you can buy in a store.
That's a good point. Yeah, so oftentimes these kits, they're trying to inspire action, and they do, but yeah, then it kind of leaves a souvenir behind of something that to remember it by. And yeah, they just feel so nice, and they're crafted so beautifully, and all made in the United States, by the way. Nobody wants to throw these things away. So and then your message, much like a promotional product, just gives you more bang for your buck every time somebody looks at the logo of the company, of the box or the binder or the folder or the ring box, whatever it is. It speaks forever. And one thing, I was talking to a customer the other day about his particular project, and I said, what really, when it's succeeded, is when you walk into somebody's office and you see something that you've sent them years ago still on their desk in use. Or in my case, I said, yeah, and what's even better than that is if I can get something of mine into someone's personal life. So it's a toy that they're playing with their child at home, or it's a tumbler that they fill with coffee in the morning, and then it goes in their car, and it goes to their desk, and it goes back in their car, and it goes back home, and it goes in the dishwasher, and they're looking at my logo 100 times a day. That's when I really know that one of my projects has succeeded.
That's what I was going to say is, like I've got things like, one of those little golf ball games. It's in the globe that, you try to get it up on the tee. Well, I see that logo every time, it's sitting on a shelf in my office, and I see that logo every time I look over, but it's still there. And I've had that thing for probably 15 plus years. It's more than just a pen. Everybody has a pen that, here's a drawer full of pens, like, oh, here's one from State Farm Insurance. There's Tom Wooten. There's this guy. There's that guy, oh, Jerry Kelly Heating and Cooling, blah, blah, blah. So you've got a million of these pens, but, something like that just sticks around forever. Like, we talked about like the mini baseball bats or something like that. That's something that looks like a piece of memorabilia, and it looks cool in their office. Like, wow, I love this ship in a bottle. This ship in a bottle look cool on my desk. Yeah, I know that it says Sneller Creative Promotions on the bottom, but that ship in a bottle sure looks pretty darn cool. I love that.
Yeah,
stuff.
Well, you talked about baseball bats. I did when the Cardinals won the World Series a few years ago. Another customer of mine wanted to send collectors baseballs that were stamped with that they were real, authentic, been used in the World Series, or authentic World Series baseballs. And the baseballs themselves came in a nice, clear acrylic case. But by and of themselves, while attractive, that didn't really do anything for my customer, and it certainly didn't get their logo on the baseball. So their challenge to me was, how can we dress this up and create something like you just said, Brendan, that would sit on their desk or on their shelf and scream Sneller Creative for the next, forever. Nobody throws away a collector's World Series baseball.
Right.
So my idea was to put these in a wooden base, like a home plate base, that was engraved with their company logo on it. And so the base was hollowed out in the center to hold the clear acrylic baseball container. And when mounted in that wooden plaque, it was just gorgeous. It made because the baseball, while cool by itself, it just kind of like a round white object sitting there, but in this beautifully stained wooden base, again with their logo engraved, it looked like a trophy. It was gorgeous, just gorgeous. So not only did we create the wooden plaque, and I bought the baseballs, but then, like we talked again in episode 1, I did the mailing for the customer. So we put them in a pretty shipping box. In this case, we used red crinkle cut, that shredded paper, red for the St. Louis Cardinals, filled the box with the crinkle cut, and then drop shipped it again to their customer base of a couple hundred people. So imagine getting that thing, especially now, if you got something like that in the mail, that would really create an impact.
That's awesome. And that's another thing that really kind of sets you apart. Yeah, you can go onto your website and look up stuff and say, yeah, I'd kind of like something like that. But it's not just hit the button, put my logo on this, there's that. You're like, okay, so you're thinking about doing this. Well, how about if we take this and take it to the next level of how we can best use this idea for your company? So really the stuff on your website are things that you've done in the past and idea starters, but because you're a person in not a computer, not a phone room that's just taking orders, you're going through and helping them create something amazing.
I love the way you said it, man. That's what I have to offer. So yeah, anybody can go online and design their own t-shirt or their own pen. And I'm happy to do that for them too. But the real value is what Jeff can bring to the table. As we mentioned, I'm a marketing guy. I've spent the last 30 years doing this. I think I know a little bit about it. I have amazing resources and tireless work ethic and ideas. And it may require a little dialogue. And sometimes people don't want that. They literally want to push a button and be done. But as we also know, you get what you pay for. Then they're getting the junky pen with the logo that's smeared and the pen breaks after 5 minutes. But, Sneller's not doing pens. We're doing these really cool things that may take a little dialogue and a little interaction. But if people have the patience and even the vision, and I can help guide them, then we create together, like Tom said in the last episode, together we create something that's 10 times better than either one of us could have come up with by ourselves.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said before, impactful. It's impactful and something that you remember. That those guys remember those soybean kits. Those guys remember that, the stainless sweatshirt stuff. You know that these people remember that stuff. It's impactful. It's something that, it sticks with you. And how many people, like you said, do have that, ship in the bottle still on their desk or whatever. That's awesome. Right. It's awesome. Like every time we talk, I love just hearing the stories of how you come up and just created these really, really cool different projects for these people that, that's the difference. It's custom. It's not just that big warehouse of, okay, well, we can ship these out tomorrow and they'll be there. But, it's a t-shirt that shrinks the first time somebody washes it. So it's, you're not getting something that, is just throwaway. Yours is definitely the stuff that people keep. It's the stuff that people hang on to, and I love that, and I love the way that you go about the whole process of making something for your clients. It's great. It's definitely, they're getting what they pay for sure.
What is really fun for me is it always starts off so nebulous and so undefined. A customer comes to me and says, Red Robin wants to increase their sales. How do we make Red Robin a more interesting or exciting restaurant for people to show up to? And as such, then, not only more people show up, but they're buying more items. But in order to do that, we need to motivate our employees. How do we get them fired up about whatever our latest ideas are? That's the kind of things like, okay, how do you attack that? That's what I'm good at, is trying to figure out those things. So, I bring this up for a reason. So Red Robin a number of years ago came to me and said, just that. How do we basically create a more exciting restaurant experience? And I said, well, it really starts out with the manager. So your managerial staff has to train all the employees. We need to create a quarterly kit or a quarterly program to get the manager fired up first, who then can train everybody to make the Red Robin experience better. So when this idea came up, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible movies were big in the theater. So we said, why don't we come up with a Mission Possible instead of Mission Impossible, which now it doesn't sound like that amazing of an idea, but going back a number of years, Mission Possible, that was kind of cool.
Sure.
And like we talked about again in episode 1 with kits, boxes that grab somebody's attention. So then we were talking about the Zoo vitamin box. Now we're talking about a box that would look like something top secret. That was the whole idea, Mission Impossible. So we created these metal or aluminum boxes, like briefcases, if you will, that were, again, fully whacked out, logoed with the Red Robin logo. And inside each one of these kits, there was one per quarter, for a whole year. So 4 different kits. Inside had something different, a different call to action. So one time it was a cell phone. And again, this is when cell phones, everyone has a cell phone now, but the cell phones are kind of a big deal then. So not only did the manager get the cell phone, but you turn it on, it would dial in to a pre-recorded message or basically a commercial launching the program and getting everybody excited. And he would put it on speaker, he or she would put it on speakerphone and let all of his employees listen to it. So the mission, and then there were laser buttons inside, and there were DVDs that you could stick in a DVD player. There are all these little kind of gimmicky tech tchotchkes that reinforce the Mission Possible program. So that's really cool. If I can get a customer that will let me do a quarterly thing that has the vision for that, then you can really see a big impact that way.
I bet you they would look forward to that too. And you know that there are some Red Robin managers that still have that stuff in their house today.
Absolutely. Me too. I can't get rid of them. And they're metal. We talk about clunky mail. That's the clunkiest, but not just clunky, but kind of sexy and tech and cool. I did another metal box. We talked about celebrities last time, but for the Emmy Awards, literally was giving away a swag bag or a swag box to the celebrities. And this was a gift from Buick. And again, we're going back a few years here, but they were giving away portable DVD players, which at the time were the rage and really expensive. But how does Buick give away something like that? They're not just handing that item to the celebrities in the retail packaging. That would be way too boring. So I said, why don't, Buick, I'm thinking of strong metal, steel, aluminum, what are cars made out of, something substantial. So we made this beautiful aluminum gift box that was laser engraved with the Buick logo on the lid. Again, another lift-off lid. You open it up inside, and all of the DVD player and components were mounted in this black velour foam. So it wasn't just foam, but it was flocked with a soft black velour on top, almost like those old 1970s sweatpants and shirts and things leisure suits that people would wear. But this thing was so exotic, and also, as we discussed last time, my packaging oftentimes is more expensive than the item inside. But and this was before social media, but the celebrities were blown away by this item from Buick. So really, really cool piece.
I could sit here and talk about all these boxes all day long. If people want to see the type of things that you do, you've got videos up on YouTube. You've got your website. Your website is what?
SnellerCreative.com.
SnellerCreative.com. And if you're looking for even things, do something nice for your employees if you're out there. Send them some, like we said, hand sanitizer and face masks right now. I'll tell you what, they would appreciate that more than anything.
They would.
Well, Jeff, it's been a pleasure, and we will talk again soon. Thanks to everybody for tuning in to Create Something Amazing, a Sneller Creative podcast. This has been Create Something Amazing, a Sneller Creative podcast. Make your business memorable. Go to SnellerCreative.com. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more episodes to find out what Sneller Creative can do for you. Create Something Amazing, the podcast produced by thepodcastproshop.com.